we live? I think we're finally live. Hello.
How many fools were like, forget this mess?
Well, there's no one. There's still. Let's see. We should be. Let me check the page because.
Can you send me the link, the YouTube in my chat?
We are live. I'm seeing. Oh, we should be live. Let's see. There we go. Here everybody is. All right, good. Thank you. What do you need? What do you need?
YouTube link.
Okay. Sorry, we had two back-to-back computer failures. Do you want it Slack, Josh?
Do I want to? Yeah, that's fine.
Josh's computer wouldn't recognize his camera, and then while he was fixing that, my computer completely crashed. And since I was the one hosting the chat, all hell broke loose. So we figured it out.
We did it.
How was everyone? Good, I hope. You look cold, Josh.
Well, there's a reason for that.
I thought it had warmed up.
Yeah, but it's been it hasn't been sunny in a while. So it rained for a bunch of days, and today it's just sort of in the mid-30s. Also, I'm in the basement because we're doing this a little early, right. So I can't really kick my wife out of the living room.
Oh, so just so everyone knows, since we started 10 minutes early, we'll run 10 minutes past the normal time. 10 minutes late. I mean,
that's if you can shut me up to begin with. Am I right?
So, welcome to the February 2018 iFanboy Patreon Hangout. Thanks for coming. And all right, I'm still a little rattled from frankly figuring that out.
I hear you. I'm going to readjust my camera thing here. Shouldn't make any difference to anybody at home. Just try not to get seasick.
Ooh, we have a different basement view this time.
Yeah.
We can see bookshelves.
Those are DVD. That's the ancient movie collection.
Oh,
there's
wow.
An orange OR-15 head and speaker. That's guitar junk. I believe there's RC cars on the ground over there. This is the voyeurism that everybody wants to have.
So, is there anything specifically you want to talk about?
Well, I haven't been doing anything but watching ER, working and rearing my children. So, would you like to talk about whether they should or shouldn't censor Peter Rabbit because it had allergies in it?
I mean, I think that's obviously stupid.
Lindsay was reading. She's really annoyed by it. Lindsay's way more going to turn into a Republican than me. She's like, this is stupid. Everybody's sensitive.
All right, so let's just give them some context in case they haven't been following. So Josh saw Peter Rabbit this weekend with his children.
It's true. And there's a controversy because in it, one of the characters who is General Hux. No, he's General Hux. He's literally played with the same voice and mannerisms as General Hux that he uses in the other movie. He's allergic to blackberries, and then the bunnies throw berries at him when they're trying to make him get rid of him. And he has like an anaphylactic shock moment. He pulls out an EpiPen and sticks it in his arm, and then he's fine. And I get it. Not great. So you don't want to do that. I understand why. But Sony has so far... Go ahead.
And I'll let you finish the setup before I rail.
So, and then the other thing that happens is that they electrocute him by wiring his electric fence up to all the knobs in his house, which keep blowing him backwards. And they do that to other people at a certain point. He plants dynamite in a tree and blows up that tree to hopefully kill the rabbits and destroy their home. Have anybody ever read the Beatrix Potter books? Daisy Ridley is great. As soon as you realize it's her, you're like, oh, yeah, it's totally Daisy Ridley. But she's just a lady rabbit voice. It's not, I thought it was very funny. It was a very funny film, I thought.
It seems strange to me. And look, I'm someone who suffers from a lot of allergies.
Peter Rabbit.
Not any food allergies, but lots of other allergies. I guess so Sony had to apologize today.
Yes.
To all those people who were offended.
And I guarantee you that when that DVD or Blu-ray comes out, that scene's not in it.
So at this point, are we saying that you cannot... So let's say you have a villain who's afraid of the dark. Can the heroes not try to stop him by putting him into a dark room? Or
I think it's that
phobia
it's not a phobia. It's that it would kill him. There is that. I can give you that.
No, but it's all about... So what? So a gun shooting a bad guy with a gun will also kill him.
Yes, that's true.
it's if we are getting to the point now where art cannot explore anything even slightly uncomfortable to anyone else, then we are totally done as a society.
Well, you're suggesting that we haven't passed that threshold as it is. I thought it was a fine, enjoyable film. I thought it was going to be garbage, and I laughed many times, and I thought it was a good time. Point is, my wife was like going to do a Facebook post, and I was like, what's the fucking point of that? She's like, well, I just, I feel like I should be able to say, and I was like, I guess, but isn't that the problem?
Yeah,
you're not going to make all you're going to do is get in an argument with somebody who's going to tell you why you're an asshole, and neither of you thought each other were assholes before, and then you suddenly are. She's like, but you write political stuff all the time. I was like, most of the people following me are my fans. They want me to like them. They don't get in arguments with me.
They're not as vicious as the mommy bloggers.
No. No. Exactly. And I was like, I just block everybody whose opinions I don't like. It's easier that way.
It's crazy.
It's not crazy. It's not normalizing because they're cartoon rabbits. I mean, but really, I think the thing is at the end of the movie, basically, I guess I'm spoiling this for all you people who have to deal with it, is that the talk show host rabbit realizes that he's gone too far and he made a mistake and he went overboard, and he apologizes and owns up his mistake. And I was like, that's the fucking lesson that everybody needs to listen to.
That's what you have to get from point A to point B, right? So you need point A to get to point B.
I know, like
it's almost like they have to learn a lesson about their behavior. And they therefore have to have some sort of behavior to learn from.
And maybe this is because we grew up watching Looney Tunes, which was racist and horrible and violent and
so annoying. Let's talk about. There's two things I thought we could talk about. Okay. Number one, did you read Swamp Thing yet? Still not.
No, literally all of my, what do you mean still not? I woke up, we finished our show. I went and I was at the rock gig till 2 a.m. My kids were up at 7 a.m. the next morning. I had them. As soon as they went to bed, I started editing the show after I cleaned everything up. Then I went to bed at 1:30 having
editing
posted.
It drunk?
That was Sunday night. Nope.
What night is it? It was Saturday and said you were editing the show drunk.
You're right. I watched TV with Lindsay for a half an hour with the margarita. And then I had another one the next night, and I'm really mad that I don't have a margarita tonight. I should have gotten more. I didn't plan that well at all. The next night, I had chips at the same time, so it had no effect.
Okay, so one of the things we got a lot of feedback on was, why did you talk about Swamp Thing? So I guess we can't really talk about that since Josh didn't read it.
You can talk about it. I mean, you talk about it. It's fine. It's totally fine. I think it's a good thing to do, and I'm gonna read it, but I'm not in a hurry to read it.
What we could do is we could sit here, Josh, silently while you read it. It's only 90 pages.
Well, that'll do something about eating up this time. Listen, patrons, I know that what you were expecting for was a rollicking good conversation, but instead we're doing sort of like an art installation.
I mean, I read it. It was another, this past week we had 2 80-page giants, one of which you guys forced us to read. So Josh didn't get to read it. I read both of them before the show, and I literally had no thoughts on the book. I had none.
Oh, really? That's. I thought you didn't bring it up because I need to get a screwdriver. I'm sorry. Are
you going to repair stuff while we talk?
I am. I'm taking the screws out of this bridge pickup. Sorry, they're kind of.
If you get electrocuted, do I have to keep going?
It's not. I mean, that would be amazing. It's not actually hooked up to anything. Other than that, it's a magnet. I guess it's possible. So you had no thoughts on it from the standpoint that
it's a one-shot story. Tom King and Faye Bach, and
that's not great.
Sorry. I'm not a huge Faye Bach fan.
Nope.
We've talked about this a lot in the show. I think he's fine, but he doesn't really do anything for me.
He's of the Finch school.
Yeah, he's of the Finch school, and the story was fine. I couldn't even really tell you. I don't remember much about it. It was almost a romance type of thing. But I had no thoughts on it after I read that. The second half of the book they published Lin Wein's final Swamp Thing story, which he didn't get to finish. It wasn't lettered, so they just published it without the words, which was meant to kick off a new Swamp Thing series before he died. That was the most interesting thing to talk about, but really that was literally the sentence I would have said about it. They published this Lin Wein story,
right?
And there'd been no discussion on that.
Huh.
I just didn't. I don't. I don't know. I feel like as try as I might, I just don't really care about the Swamp Thing.
Did you read the Alan Moore stuff?
Yeah, I like the Alan Moore stuff.
That's really good, right?
Yeah.
Other than that,
yeah. So I mean, Snyder didn't really do much for me.
Was it Lemire? No, that was Animal Man. It was very mixed up in Swamp Thing. That's why.
Yeah, they kept crossing over. It just, I just didn't read it. I mean, I did read it. And I just didn't have much anything to really say about it. So that's why we didn't talk about it. Sometimes a book you guys love is a book we don't have anything to say about. Sometimes a book we love is a book you guys don't care about. So that's the beauty of art.
Len Wein is not a G-Dad. Sorry.
Well, he's also not alive anymore.
Can you not give a posthumous?
We said no. We said they had to be alive.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's right. I remember that now.
But that's why we didn't talk about it. People were really upset about it, but that's the way it goes.
I mean, yeah, it's not fun to talk about a book that we don't have anything to say about. That happens a lot. Like, I will look at my books, and it's been happening a little more lately because they're getting a little boring. And then the ones that aren't stand out, and then we have something to say about it. But like, there's weeks now where I'll have 3 or 4 books that I really have anything to say about that I haven't said a billion times before.
Well, I think we're definitely in a superhero rut. We've been there before. We've done. I mean, it's been 12 years of doing the show.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of. I feel that way more about the superhero like TV shows and movies and stuff.
It's just sometimes there's not a lot to talk about. But anyway, that's why we didn't talk about it. Josh didn't read it, and I didn't have anything to say about it. And Ryan didn't. Ryan had a chance to add to it, and he did not add it to the rundown. So, this week's the final issue of Invincible. You'll be reading that.
Can I? Well, here, I'll tell you how this works.
It's not. Is it not in the thing?
No.
Oh,
so
no.
Image Comics used to send us boxes of comics every week, trades and paper comics. There's also access to PDFs. And a couple of months ago, the comics just stopped showing up, which is fine. It really was like, it was fine. I didn't need them. I don't mind reading it digitally. However, they don't put Robert Kirkman stuff digitally.
Or Vaughn's.
Oh yeah, or Vaughn. Oh shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the habit of remembering to go get them separately. And also, I was a little like, I don't feel like I'm missing it. Like, I realized, like, Ryan brought up The Walking Dead, and I was like, yeah, I don't miss it. Like, I was reading it as a habit, and it was fine or whatever. But like, so I'll read the end of Invincible in some way, but I don't know. I was out of my habit, and it wasn't the thing that I was like, I got to run for it. Do I have to run for it? Did you guys read it? Like, was it real? Was it a great ending?
Well, it's coming out this week. It's coming out.
Oh, okay. I think I missed the last 1 or 2. I don't know.
Okay, we got breaking news, Josh.
Okay, yeah.
This just literally came in over email, and I'm a little perplexed, to be honest. Breaking news: Fox teams Tim Miller, Brian Michael Bendis for X-Men Mystery Project.
Who's Tim Miller? He's a
director. He directed Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
But it's really the fact that Fox has hired Bendis to write an X-Men movie when he just left Marvel to go to DC, partially to also write for their.
He had that motherfucking contract signed, and those two had nothing to do with one another. I
know. It's just funny
that's great.
That's really interesting.
Also, tell me a good Bendis X-Men story.
Wait, hold on. It has a title. The title is it's the mysteriously titled 143.
Wasn't there 140?
What does that mean?
Well, wasn't House of M? Wasn't that how many mutants were left?
I don't know. Is it? People
I think so. I think there was 140, 143. That's House of M.
Maybe. But that just broke. 20th Century Fox has hired Brian Michael Bendis to develop a script for Deadpool, Helmer, Tim Miller to direct. The movie is shrouded in secrecy, but I've confirmed it's a new feature that is set in the X-Men universe and has a title 143.
Like, I get that you're Tim Miller and you're thinking, I got to ride this gravy train and do this stuff, but like, would you want to do that? Would you want to just keep doing superhero movies forever? Like,
basically all you got. That's the only choice you got right these days.
That's a really good point. Like, that's either that or, yeah.
There's really nothing else. I mean, it's like Blockbuster or super indie. And he'll make $3 million directing it.
Here's how I could justify it. He probably 198 mutants after M Day, so maybe that's not it. Maybe somebody had a copyright on 198 though, and they changed it. Who knows? I bet that after Deadpool, he's got a lot of clout. He probably gets some points on it. He goes in, he does like a couple of these.
Yeah, and he got basically pushed off Deadpool by Ryan Reynolds. So,
it's a good movie. So on the way to Peter Rabbit, my wife looks at me and she says, "Are they doing another Deadpool?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "I love that movie. That's my favorite one out of all of them." I was like, "Really?" She goes, "I've watched it without you." And I was like, "Really?"
Wow, The Secret Life of Lindsay.
She loved it. She loved it.
Did you watch the trailer for the new one?
No.
With Josh Brolin as Cable?
No, but I saw there was a trail. There was the photo that he had of him painting him, and then he painted Josh Brolin as Brandon from the Goonies, and I thought that was funny.
No, I mean, listen, I love that movie, and I'll definitely go see. I think the idea of him against a very gruff straight man is funny, but people in the chat are. What's that?
Did you see Shape of Water?
I did.
Did you like it?
I did. I didn't love it.
I don't love Benicio del Toro. I've never loved a thing he's done. I think he's good. I think he's got a style, but it's not my thing.
There's only one Best Picture nominee I haven't seen. It's
Is that Visible Red? Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
How about that HD camera?
They're monitoring your health.
Yep.
So 143 is the comic that Kitty Pryde goes it alone against so people are saying it could be a Kitty Pryde movie. Who knows?
That would make a lot of sense. He was before we forgot, but he used to love a female protagonist.
You asked earlier, Bendis kicked off the young X-Men in the modern day. That was a good X-Men story.
Yes, that's true. The Ultimate X-Men run was
no one had a good Ultimate X-Men run.
No one, not one run.
Not a single run of it.
Miller had it at first, and then you're absolutely right. Vaughn had it for a little while.
Kirkman. I mean, everyone. They threw everyone at that. Anyway, that was we'll see. But he's definitely got his eye on bigger and better things. Anyway, that was breaking news while the show happened.
Oh my God, we were there for it.
What were we talking
about? Shape of Water.
Well, so the only Best Picture nominee I haven't seen is Call Me by My Name, and I am angling for a screener of it before I go see it.
I like how you're talking like a Variety article now. I think that's pretty sweet.
People I know have screeners, and I'm trying to get one so I don't have to go to the movies. But I will.
Do we want to wait? Hold on. So do we want to get into this? I'm gonna ask you a question. You're gonna say we shouldn't talk about this or not.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is Quentin Tarantino horrible?
Oh boy.
And I just want to point out that everybody who's now like, hey, these people are horrible, apparently never read a fucking Peter Biskin book. Because
I don't want to get into this.
Okay.
I don't want to. I mean,
I think he's no different than he's ever been. He's not a regular human. And
I think a lot more direct. I think a lot of people would be surprised at how often directors put their actors in harm's way.
Sure.
That doesn't mean he's not a good. Doesn't mean I'm saying he's a good person. I'm saying I'm not. I wasn't surprised by the behavior, and I wasn't. It's like, yep, a lot of people have gotten hurt on set because the directors are crazy.
Sure, but if it happened 20 or 30 years ago, they're legends.
Right.
If it happens now, John Ford had a horse killed. You did it now, they'd never work again.
Right. Those special effects were a lot more dangerous back then than they are now.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry. I'm not going to not watch Pulp Fiction again. I don't care. I mean, it would have to be much worse.
Anyway, I was going to say, all right, so you didn't read Swamp Thing. That's fine. Do you want to talk about the Solo trailer?
I watched it once. I didn't like the music.
Interesting.
But that's me. Like, I don't want to hear like dancey music or whatever that was.
Unless you're making a Skype call.
It's as I learned during the last couple of movies, like if it doesn't feel like Star Wars to me, it doesn't wash. But I recognize they're going to make movies that don't feel like Star Wars because they can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah. What am I saying? Yet Connor said he's done with the whole franchise, so I don't think there's a media blackout at this point.
No, there wasn't. I mean, I watched the first Rogue One
Venom trailer. We do that.
The chapter movies. I know it's continuing the story. I don't know what the fuck to expect from the solo movie, so I watched the first trailer. Same thing with Rogue One. What did you think of?
I only watched it once. I didn't pay a ton of attention to it. It didn't make a big impact on me. Here's what I thought initially. I thought he kind of looks like Han Solo. I thought it's really cool to see the inside of the Millennium Falcon when it's all clean. I was like, that's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, really didn't. I didn't have much. I didn't think about it very much. It didn't make much of an impact on me. I'm not really that excited. I'm not really unexcited. I don't hate it. I'm ambivalent. It's crushing ambivalence, which is only going to get worse.
It's ambivalence trending to disinterest.
Yeah, I mean,
I love Aaron Wright. That's his name, right? I think he's terrific.
I wonder if I can scroll back to our comments in the chat and I will see what I wrote, and then maybe I'll remember.
I think Alden Ehrenreich. I think I've only seen him in two things, in Hail Caesar and Rules Don't Apply, but I just don't see him as Han Solo.
I don't either.
He doesn't look right. He looks like I'm willing to be won over by him, but I don't see Han Solo when I look at him.
He sounded like Jack Black in the voiceover is what I wrote. Music is awful. Oh, and then I wrote, I still hate and will always hate seeing celebrities in Star Wars. So I don't want any actors that I recognize because that's what Star Wars was. I don't know who any of those people were.
So all of them.
Yeah. I thought that was Santa, but I guess that's not Santa. I wish it was, because I want...
Oh, I was supposed to say that. Oops.
No.
That's all right.
Yeah. I like Donald Glover a lot. I like Donald Glover a ton. I did see Atlanta. I thought he was awesome in that. If it makes him happy and he's successful, I'm totally cool with that. I also don't have any need to see early Lando movies. Although, out of everybody, show me that movie. Fine, do it. But you have to make it really good because it would have to live up to something monumental.
Yeah, I mean, the two directors thing really worries me. It almost never works.
You know what? I'm curious to see what happens with it. But as we get closer, I was about to say if everybody says it's really good, that will make me interested. But as we saw with episode 8, I don't know. I don't know what'll make of that.
If Ron Howard had done it from the beginning, because I love Ron Howard, I'd be more interested. But the fact is that the two different directors have totally different director styles, and I'm putting those two guys together as one director.
Sure,
it's tonally they're night and day. So what is that going to mean? It's going to be like Justice League again. I fear, because tonally, Joss Whedon and Michael Bay are night and day, and we saw how that worked out. So I don't.
You might have. I didn't see it.
You still didn't see Justice League?
No. Why would I have seen it? I want to go see I, Tonya. I want to go see...
That was really good.
What's the Sorkin movie?
Molly's Game.
Molly's Game. I was like, not Maggie's Game. Mostly, I just want to see another 10 seasons of ER. So...
Yes, we're all aware.
I know.
Lobo news, Josh.
Is there Lobo news? Lobo. Someone said that Lobo is actually a mistake in there, but I think we can talk about Lobo news.
Michael Bay maybe directing a Lobo movie.
So I thought it's a Lobo movie. It's not another movie featuring Lobo. That seems like what they did was say, let's do everything we did before that didn't work, but more. We can't outsmart Marvel, so we're going to outdumb ourselves.
First of all, I'm not that upset because I feel like it's yet another movie in development that may never happen. There's tons of those.
And also you won't have to feel bad because you won't be interested in anything about it.
There's almost nothing about that movie I'm interested in.
Yeah,
and I actually like more Michael Bay movies than I realize. Like I'm
okay
for early Michael Bay movies.
Hold on.
Yeah,
we've hit a rich vein here. Let's discuss Michael Bay.
All right, hold on. Let me open up his filmography here. I'll put it over
okay,
here.
We're gonna discuss Michael Bay, everyone. We did it. We got there. Took us half an hour.
We found a topic. Hold
24 minutes. The films
of Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. All right, let's just get it out of the way. He looks like a douchebag.
All right. Let's not.
Connor,
there's no need for that.
Wait. Did I lose him? Wait, I lost him.
There's no need for that kind of attack. That's fine.
He looks like if Peter Horton's 80s villain turned into an adult.
All right, let's start.
You're right. There's no point in doing that. He's got a little mullet thing, though. He has that sort of that hair.
Should we go through all his music videos?
I mean, that's almost like a separate thing. But let's.
He did Angel. Oh my God, he did a lot of music videos.
Oh sure.
He did Donny Osmond's "My Love Is on Fire" right after doing one for Styx.
I'm gonna say I don't really remember that. Either of those.
He did the Vinyl's "I Touch Myself." I remember that one.
Yeah, me too. That was largely a cleavage-based memory.
Young MC, "That's the Way Love Goes."
I don't even remember that song. I'm almost caught up with you. Vanilla Ice.
Richie, "Do It to Me."
No.
Of course, the classic Meatloaf, "I Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That."
The most overwrought video ever.
It's an amazing video.
He shot the September 1990 video Centerfold for Playboy Carrie Kendall. That's where he should have ended up. That's what he looks like. He looks like he shoots early 90s Playboy videos.
So his first film, Bad Boys, enjoyable.
That was his first film?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it is. I remember that because he was the music video director.
No shit.
Yeah. Bad Boys, super fun film. Risky to take two, at the time, sitcom actors and make them action stars.
Was this before? What year was Independence Day?
Independence Day was, I think, 96. This was before Independence Day.
Okay. I've never seen this movie.
Never seen Bad Boys? Okay.
Nope.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are both still on sitcoms. Let's see. Independence Day was... God, it's really hard to navigate this now. Oh boy. All right. Where are we here? Will Smith has done a lot of things with his name in it.
That's irrelevant. Don't go down that road.
Now I want to know.
Okay.
Oh, okay. 96. It was the year before Independence Day.
Okay, yeah. So that's his first. Okay, fair enough. That's there's talent to be given there. Now I conflate early Michael Bay films not so much as Michael Bay, but as Bruckheimer and Simpson films. That's what I think.
I'm just going to say this. Looking at the list, when I said earlier I enjoy early Michael Bay films, I'm talking about his first 3 movies, and then it falls off a cliff.
Yeah, but even you can say that there is an element of like The Rock is wacky. It has.
I love The Rock.
I know, but
if it's on TV, I will watch it.
It's not good.
It's a terrific action movie. It's a terrific action movie.
But then the other thing to remember is that in that time since then, so let's say he peaked at Armageddon, which is terrible.
I also love Armageddon.
I didn't say that's different. That's a different thing. It's still it can be. You can love. I love Gangs of New York. It's terrible.
I don't say Gangs of New York is terrible. I think it's
beautiful failure.
Flawed. I know. It's flawed.
Okay. So I was kind of with you on all those. I went to go see those. I saw Armageddon or whatever. I've seen Deep Impact lately. That means like in the last 2 years, and I was like,
that.
I know, but it came out at the same time as Armageddon. So those are the 2 movies that were about asteroids hitting the Earth.
Deep Impact, directed by ER director.
Sometimes I get Catherine Bigelow and Mimi Leader mixed up, and I'm pretty sure that makes me sexist. Anyway,
maybe.
But I'm saying I saw Deep Impact again recently, and it held up really well. I was like, that's a really good film. This is a very good film. Armageddon, not so much. And I remember going to see Pearl Harbor and being very excited. I had not, because I knew the Bruckheimer and Simpson movies are dumb, but they are what they are. It's fine. I can enjoy Top Gun. I don't know that it's a good film, but I get it. And this is just, his early movies are just an extension of that to a certain extent. I don't think of them as Michael Bay movies because he's not really. But anyway, I remember going to Pearl Harbor and just being so let down about how stupid it thought I was. Not that it was stupid, but how stupid it thought I was, and I never recovered from that.
Yeah, no, that's where it hits the wall. I enjoyed Bad Boys. I love The Rock. I love Armageddon. Pearl Harbor was terrible. Bad Boys 2 was forgettable. The Island was forgettable. And then you enter the Transformers morass, which he's only left for Pain and Gain, which kind of had a spark of something, but
Yeah, but then it went on for another hour and a half for some reason.
And then 13 Hours, which I didn't watch, was the Benghazi movie.
Pain and Gain was almost. There was something about it that was really interesting.
God, he did 5 Transformers movies.
Still going.
But you know what? He probably has the biggest house in Hollywood.
Over 10 years. Ugh. You know what? You know what though? Like he slowed his pace down to do Transformers. Like,
well, they take forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 3-year thing.
Now, which was the one that I said I was going to go see, but then didn't?
I think the third one.
Dark of the Moon?
I don't even think I saw it. The thing is, I look at these titles and I have no fucking clue what any of them are about.
What's the King Arthur one? The Age of Extinction?
The Last Night.
The Last Night? I think that was the one that I said I'd go see no matter what.
Oh, that's right, because it had Knights of the Round Table in it.
And then as we got closer, and it has Mark Wahlberg in it, which is also funny.
Well, he did the last two.
For a little bit in Pain and Gain, it seemed like, oh, he realizes why Mark Wahlberg is funny. And then I was like, no, it's just that Mark Wahlberg is funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's only done 13 features. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, but that and I couldn't take watching the Transformers. I think the first one has some genuinely fun moments to it. I can't help but enjoy still Shia LaBeouf. Sure. 2, you're like, oh, and then I don't even know if I saw 3. I definitely didn't see 4 or 5. So I remember being sort of excited about the first one. I said to give it a chance. We saw it for the show. We had to, and really didn't like it at all. Oh, hold on. Someone in the chat room is saying Mark Wahlberg is funny. Mark Wahlberg is hilarious. Mark Wahlberg is one of the funniest people on the planet. It's just that he doesn't realize it. Yes, that's exactly why. He is 100% without irony, even when he's in comedies, which is the best part. Yes, no, he's great. Like I see. What's the cop movie with him and Will Ferrell? The Nice Guys? No, the Good Guys, something like that. Yeah, people really like the other one. This was like Good Guys or something like that. People really like that, and I was like, I can't even stand next to Will Ferrell. Like it's not. They're 2 different people. Right. Yeah. Yeah. He amuses me like a clown. Yeah. But anyway, I literally can't stand looking at them. I can't stand the constant camera motion. Yeah. The Other Guys. That was the movie. Yeah. The Other Guys. That was where it really got to the point where action movies were shot where the action was so fast and the camera stuff was so close that you couldn't follow anything. Mm-hmm. And it's still sort of a problem. I remember that being a problem even in Batman Begins when he would shoot the action. It was just you couldn't follow what was happening. Right. But it's even like the rest of the time when the camera is constantly circling around. And that's not Michael Bay, that's Tony Scott. It's just that Tony Scott jumped off a bridge and Michael Bay was like, I'll do that twice as much. And yeah, I mean, Tony Scott definitely, the camera always moved. Michael Bay's thing was sort of the camera in a circle around the action. Enough. Which to me works really well when it's super bombastic and knows it, which is what I think Bad Boys, The Rock, and Armageddon are. I feel like those movies are in on the joke. And then around Pearl Harbor, he sort of forgot that there was a joke happening. Right. And became serious. Yeah. I mean, The Rock, Armageddon, and Bad Boys know exactly what they are. They're silly, over-the-top action movies. And I think at some point he decided he was really serious about it. Because Bruckheimer was in control of those. Yeah. And he knew at least, like, he was giving you a different thing, than what, I don't know, there's an element that Michael Bay doesn't even have anymore once he took control of his own stuff. And then there's also sort of the weird jingoism thing that happens. Well, I mean, yeah, but that's all right, especially for a movie like Armageddon. So what was so someone asked if he only produced the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. He didn't direct. I thought he was supposed to direct them. Maybe, wasn't Kirkman supposed to write one of those Transformers movies? Jonathan Liebsman directed the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and we don't even need to go into. Wait, when you say first, do you mean there's been 2 apparently? The new ones, though. You're not talking about the new ones. No, not the classics from the 90s. Okay. Kirkman was part of a writer's room that included Akiva Goldsman. That's not a selling point for me. No, that was in charge of sort of rebooting, and I think that's where The Last Night came out of. I don't know. I think whenever Transformers information comes my way, I just sails through my brain. I was about to say famously, but that's absolutely wrong. But we tried to review Transformers comics that people said were really good, and we were just like, it's not for me. I don't get it. Robots. I liked it as a kid. I didn't even like it that much as a kid.
So there you go. It's interesting. 5 out of his 13 films are Transformers movies.
What is the epitome of an action movie then to you?
Well, you know what? Pain and Gain is Michael Bay's The Post. He did that, a small sort of drama movie while working on the, the bigger movie in the background.
Oh, okay.
That's
so it was while he was working on the
Transformers.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
In between Age of Extinction and The Last Night, he banged out. I'm sorry, in between Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction, he banged out Pain and Gain.
Mm-hmm. That movie was like almost 3 hours long.
I remember being kind of interested in it. I remember watching it and being like, yeah, this is going on forever.
No, I didn't. And then like one night it was just on like Netflix and I was like, it's a Mark Wahlberg and the Rock. Let's see what this is. And I go, oh, it's directed by Michael Bay. And I started watching it, but like an hour in, I was like, this isn't so bad. And then 2.5 hours later, I was like, oh my God, stop it. No one has anything to say here.
Yeah.
What's your, like, if you're saying like what you think the best kind of modern action movie is, or your apex action movie, what would you say about that?
Oh God, I don't know. That's really hard.
So my answer, and I think that there's been something since then, but I think that and I'm not a big action movie person, but I think Die Hard.
Was that modern? That was like 30 years ago.
No, but it was the start of what became the modern action movie.
Well,
now
sure.
It changed since then, and then like that brought us to a point that all the Schwarzenegger stuff brought us up to that point, and then you have Die Hard, which was something perfect. And I think that, in a way, I think Marvel movies are even still taking from Die Hard to a certain extent.
Because they're funny,
right? But there's also a self-aware character, like they're acknowledging some of the
literally 30 years ago.
No, I know that.
1988.
I get that. So we go from there, and like, what's the next step in that? Is it Fast and the Furious? Like, is that what has become?
I think that's sort of the. I mean, well, hold on. Do we consider Marvel movies action movies?
I'm going to not. I'm going to put those in a superhero category of their own.
Okay, so then I think you have to say, that the modern era of action movies came out of the Bourne Identity.
Okay, Doug Liman.
That influenced how they rebooted James Bond. James Bond was a total reaction to the Bourne Identity. And then that has morphed into the Fast and the Furious movies simply for the size and the popularity of them. And they're just endless. Okay. People flock to them. I think the modern era of action movies starts with the Bourne Identity. Everyone started mimicking that fast fight style. Mm-hmm. And it's a great movie.
Great film.
I really like the Bourne Identity a lot.
3?
There's 3 of them. Well, there's
more than that.
There's a trilogy with Damon, and then they went off for one, and Damon came back. I haven't seen either of the second.
I started to watch the one with Hawkeye, and I was like, nope.
The 4th one.
Yeah.
I think the trilogy is really great. The first one's obviously the best one. Because it was smart. It was like a modern day James Bond movie. That's why James Bond aped it. It was smart. It was action packed. It was international. It was almost a drama action movie because Damon was really good in it. But I think that's where the modern era starts. But Fast and the Furious, I don't think I've watched one since that time at work. You and I watched them all day long.
That first movie is great, but not for that reason. But it is watchable. That first movie is great in the way that like Independence Day is great, or kind of in the way that no, because the thing about it that's funny is that Vin Diesel, everything he says is completely unironic at the time. See, so yeah,
how many of you have you seen?
Huh?
How many of those have you seen? Fast and the Furious movies.
I went through a period where I thought I liked them, and I watched like a bunch of them. So I've seen 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and I think 7. Because they get stupid for a while.
It's kind of right up your alley. It's almost a disaster car movie.
Yeah, no, it's close. I think that I don't like once the mythology of the thing got too big for itself, I didn't care so much. Mm-hmm. I liked that, like when they did the third one, it's like these are all different people and they're just in Japan. It's just the Karate Kid with cars.
Did you watch
Mission Impossible movies were pretty good.
Yeah, the first Mission Impossible movie is really good.
And there's the serious line of things. There's like Black Hawk Down, which was great.
But I put that more. I mean, it is an action movie for sure, but I put that it's sort of historical fiction, or historical drama.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely an action movie.
True.
But, did you watch the trailer for the new Rock movie?
The Rampage?
No, the other one, the building one, where he's in the building.
No, I haven't. I think you put it in the thing, and I didn't get a chance to look at it, and then it went away.
Because it's not a disaster movie like you love, but it's sort of. Well, I guess it's not. He's fighting people. It looks almost like a remake.
If they're terrorists and not monsters, though. I'm all right with that.
It looks almost like a remake of Die Hard, actually.
I mean, yeah, it's a building.
He's trapped in the building with his family, and there's people trying to take it over. Gladiator is.
It's kind of a drama action. Taken's
a great B movie.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Iron Man.
Let's see here. Did you watch? I didn't watch the I Killed. I still haven't read I Killed Giants.
I've read it. I haven't seen the trailer. I don't go out of my way to see the trailers anymore, though.
Yeah.
Like only ones that I'm interested in, but those are not the kind of movies that we'll be talking about right here. And even then, it's like I'll accidentally flip on the app and start watching them.
But did you watch the trailer for Hurricane Heist?
Did you send me that?
I sent you a picture of the poster.
I think
so I opened up the trailers app and I saw Hurricane Heist and it's just a giant like wave of water coming out like a car, and I was like, okay, Josh needs to know this exists.
It had I remember that much. It was maybe the best action movie of the last 10 years.
What?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow is a great movie.
Great movie.
I get so frustrated with people who dismiss it because Tom Cruise is in it. Because first of all, Tom Cruise is a goddamn movie star, no matter how crazy he may be. Otherwise.
I don't like Tom Cruise, but he was perfect for that movie, and he did it zero disservice because the guy was kind of a prick who was really sure of himself.
Yeah, but he's also a movie star. There's just not many people left.
I get that. It's fine, and
you don't have to like him, but there's not many people left to completely captivate the screen like he does.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. I mean,
that's a great. I watched it twice in a row almost, and like I didn't lose. It's a bad title, first of all, because it had like 3 titles and they couldn't. Live, Die, Repeat, whatever. Edge Tomorrow, and it was right. It came out very soon after that other action movie that he did with a similar title, Oblivion or something.
That was a bad movie.
Yes.
The disservice was the title was terrible, the marketing was terrible, and it came right after one of those mediocre bad Tom Cruise movies that he's been doing. And unfortunately, got lost in the maelstrom of all that stuff. But
fantastic, Bill Paxton in it.
Everyone is great in that movie.
Yep, it's a great film. It's a relativity movie. It's got time travel. It's got who's the general?
The Irish guy that we were just talking about.
Oh, right, Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah,
love that guy.
I saw it in the theater and I was completely blown away. I don't even know why I saw it in the theater.
I didn't see it in the theater. I remember I rented it like on my iPad before a trip to San Francisco, and I was on the plane just going, this movie's amazing. And like I landed and I wrote to Lindsay, I was like, rent this movie. I'm shocked.
The added benefit is if you are someone who hates Tom Cruise, he dies 100 times in it.
That's a good point. But like it was one of those movies that I expected to be fine, but was actually so good that I couldn't quite reconcile myself with like, I think that was really good. I think
it was really good. It's a bummer it wasn't more popular.
It's Mad Max Fury Road, which you were a little more ambivalent about.
No, I liked Mad Max Fury Road.
I think it's really, really good.
I didn't love it. Like I didn't think it was the best thing ever made, like a lot of people did, but I thought it was really fun.
You know what was good? The other Tom Cruise movie, they just made a sequel to it.
Jack Reacher?
Yep, that one, the first one.
I haven't seen that yet. It
was really good. And then also the villain is played by Werner Herzog.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, that's actually pretty interesting. I think it's on Amazon. I think it's on the streaming.
That Brad Bird Mission Impossible was good.
I didn't see that one.
It was good.
I kind of want to see the new one. I really love the first Mission Impossible. Less so after. I don't even remember the plots of those, but I like the team of actors. I think it's a fun motley crew of actors playing his team.
Yep.
And the trailer for the new one looked kind of fun. So I don't know.
The Brad Bird one was good. I don't remember what it was called. Yeah, Jack Reacher was actually really good.
Let's see here. Mission Impossible.
Rogue Nation.
That was the one. Maybe I tried to watch that one.
No, that's the one after the Brad Bird one. This one's written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie. I think that was pretty good too.
Mission Impossible film series. Here we go.
I mean, they're like an 18
Ghost
movie.
Protocol.
Ghost Protocol. Yeah.
Was that the one?
Yep. The last two were pretty good.
Protocol. The last two. Oh, Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol were the last two. So 2 was. Oh, by the way. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 was directed by John Woo. 3 was directed by J.J. Abrams. They've had like a
2 and 3 was not great. It was okay. It had Felicity in it.
Okay, they had Brian De Palma, John Woo, J.J. Abrams, Brad Bird direct the first 4 Mission Impossible movies,
and then Christopher McQuarrie did the 5th.
That's crazy, and he's also did the new one, Christopher McQuarrie.
Right.
But
yeah, 2015 was his
So people probably know that, but it's worth repeating that Mission Impossible 2 was what allowed Hugh Jackman to become Wolverine.
Go on.
Because Dougray Scott
oh,
was cast as Wolverine, but then he got cast in Mission Impossible 2. And since Mission Impossible 2 was more of a sure thing than X-Men at the time, because X-Men was a total flyer by Fox.
Imagine that.
He went with Mission Impossible 2, which means they had to recast Wolverine, which means that's how they ended up with Hugh Jackman. So
crazy.
The Hugh Jackman cinema landscape is much different without Mission Impossible 2.
That's true. Huh.
Philip Seymour Hoffman was the villain in 3.
That's kind of cool.
You know what I stumbled on the other day? I stumbled on Charlie Wilson's War on HBO. God, he's so good in that movie, Philip.
Yeah. I don't remember that movie very well. I know I was really, really excited about it. Mike Nichols and Aaron Sorkin.
Mike Nichols' last movie, Aaron Sorkin, great Tom Hanks, great Philip Seymour Hoffman. Really, really, it held up really well. I ended up.
There are sexual harassment issues with that. Isn't he sleeping with everybody in it, the whole thing?
Sure.
I don't care.
I kind of want to. So we have 15 minutes. So we can do Q&A. We can keep talking about dumb movies.
I want to go watch the Mission Impossible movies, the last 2 right now.
I kind of want to.
I like those kind of movies. I like the whole team coming together and fixing a problem that you don't think they can do.
I remember reading an interview with Ving Rhames after the first one, and he said he will always be grateful to Brian De Palma for casting him as a tech guy. Because all he was playing was heavies.
I was watching. It's funny because if you remember, he's Peter Benton's brother in the first season of ER.
I do remember that, yeah.
And it's the exact same time that they would have been shooting Pulp Fiction. So it's Marcellus Wallace. Like he's even got the little chin thing.
And a Band-Aid on the back of his head.
I don't know. I didn't show him from that angle. And then Candy Alexander is his sister.
Yeah, the casting on that show was great.
Oh, and it's amazing.
By the way, I don't know if she's watching that, but Megan said she might mute you because you're spoiling ER.
You won't even remember it. It's fucking 390 episodes.
Favorite James Bond is Sean Connery. Come on.
Is it? Oh wait, is it the favorite? Who is your favorite James Bond, or who is your favorite James Bond movie?
Just says favorite James Bond.
All right, that's 2 different, but it could go either way. I mean, it is, but those movies are good. But the Connery movies are really long.
Sure.
And they're a little like there's parts of them that are great, but there's other parts of them that are slogs. I mean, Casino Royale is a really good movie.
Oh, sure. I mean,
it's a really good Bond movie and a really good movie. And
yeah.
I mean, I know that I'm in the bag for Daniel Craig and everything, but he's so good in that. It's just Casino Royale is better than all. So if I had to pick the one that I've watched the most and I enjoy, it's Casino Royale. After that, I don't know that I know them well enough to make the call.
I mean, we grew up with Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Who was great. I love Roger Moore.
You know what's good?
I think From Russia with Love is my favorite one. Yeah, From Russia with Love is my favorite Bond movie. But I mean, I love Casino Royale, and I love Skyfall.
I want to like Skyfall more than I do. It's really good, but
I also really like. We can't get to James Bond with 10 minutes ago, but Timothy Dalton is a hugely underrated Bond.
That's what I was gonna say. I forget which. I think The Living Daylights. Is that his first one?
No, that was let's see.
That
was the end of Moore,
yeah.
wasn't it?
No, Living Daylights is the first first Dalton, and then
Oh, you're
License
right.
to Kill is the second one. The Living Daylights is a great Bond movie. The License to Kill is a shitty Bond movie.
No, but the Living Daylights is a terrific movie, and Dalton didn't get his due. First of all, I thought he was a really good Bond. But second of all, his Bond is the precursor to Daniel Craig's Bond.
Yes, absolutely.
Sort of the darker, angrier Bond, which I think people weren't ready for right after Moore.
Yeah.
And so they went to the foppish Pierce Brosnan Bond. And I really liked GoldenEye at the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would like it on a rewatch. I think Pierce Brosnan's a good Bond in that Roger Moore mold, but they were clearly trying to stay in that thing. Timothy Dalton's Bond would hang out with Daniel Craig's Bond. None of them would hang out with Roger Moore's Bond.
Goldfinger. I conflate all those Connery ones. I haven't watched them in such a long time.
Yeah. Diamonds
Are Forever is the one where he plays a Japanese man for a bunch of it, right?
Yeah, Diamonds Are Forever. I like that one too. That's the one I had on tape as a kid.
1971 they did that. Yeah.
Well, that went for a long time.
But, I know, but I'm just saying they did the Japanese thing at that point.
I think Lazenby is also
that's You Only Live Twice. That was 1967. I'm remembering now.
Lazenby, I think, was also underrated, but he wasn't really.
I don't think I've ever actually seen that.
That's the only one with Bond's wife. Also, where Tully Savalas plays Blofeld.
Yeah.
So recently, our buddy Hank, his girlfriend, I have the box set with all the Bond movies up to a certain point. Obviously, it doesn't go to Daniel Craig, but she was getting really into Bond, so I lent them all to her, and he just gave them back to me. She watched all of them.
Wow.
Yeah. I think she said Roger Moore was her favorite.
Out of a vodka martini, shaken, not stirred.
I think I just watched The Trip to Spain. Did I?
Did you? Oh my God. The scene where they have the little piece of ham or the 2 pieces of ham and they keep trying to get the other one to eat it first or drink it first, whichever one it is. And they're playing Bond villains.
Yes. I did watch The Trip to Spain.
Yes. Fucking falling over.
Yeah.
By myself.
They're great together.
Oh, so fucking good.
They're really, I did watch it. That's right. Okay.
I fooled you. In fact, I showed up before here and you stitch yours with it.
So Greg Marcus asked how we record across the country. This is not how we record the show. This is only for the Hangout. And you got answered. We use Google Hangouts. It automates the camera. It automates the streaming. It does all that stuff. This is not how we do the show itself. Also, Google Hangouts will blast through YouTube. So you can put out a YouTube link of your Hangout and people can watch it. For the show itself, we just record a Skype call, which is why
we are
quality show to show because we have no control over Skype.
Although I don't want to say it out loud, Skype used to be a lot more spotty. We used to We used to get a lot of problems. We used to get a lot of dropouts. We used to have to start over. Like I still listen to this show now, and I'm like, man, this sound like I was listening to the one that I did this weekend. I just thought this sounds really good. Like it's solid.
It got much better since my office upped its internet.
Yeah, but just even so, like the thing is the way that we do everything about the podcast is basically the same way that we've done everything since we've done the podcast. And as you can imagine, podcasting has advanced quite a bit since then, but we have no idea in what ways.
Yeah,
because we still do it in a very antiquated manner.
The way we publish the show is the same way we published it 10 years ago. Although that'll change soon. We're upgrading it. YouTube is from this podcast recommending iFanboy number 230 more all age comics. Do you guys have any memory of these old shows?
Mm-mm.
We recorded them 10 or so years ago.
Well, this month is 10 years ago since I quit my job
iFanboy?
To do that full time.
I was going to say you did a really bad job of quitting iFanboy.
Yes, I did. No, that's next month. No, yeah, but that was 10 years ago, and we'd been doing them for a couple years at that point.
I have snippets of memories of those shows, and if I start watching them, I might remember more. But it's almost like watching them now is like I'm like a new viewer. I don't really remember what we said.
Well, it depends on if I edited them; they'll all come back.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find we did near the end when we were starting to get bored with the convention shows. We did all those intros of other shows.
I remember that. Yeah.
Because I was trying to find the ER one, but there wasn't really a way to search for it. So I went through a bunch of them. I was trying to remember where we did them and why. And I found that we did. Yeah, and I found we did that one. We did a Night Court one. We did a Terriers one, which perhaps didn't.
It started with me. I did Twin Peaks for the Seattle show.
And then you guys did Party of Five, I think.
Yeah, in WonderCon.
Yeah,
which is a show I've never seen, so it was totally Ron's direct.
Yeah, but I watched that ER one and I was like, holy shit, how did I do that?
Yeah.
I was I'm not gonna say I was impressed with myself because I couldn't tell you how I did. I was amazed. I was like, well, I don't know, because he was really good. Like I did it shot for shot.
I think we spent more time on those intros than we did on
absolutely.
the actual show itself.
Yeah. But it was still like pulling teeth to get you guys to like pose for the things I needed. I remember that.
Because that was the first one we full on did it. Like Twin Peaks, I basically just used the music and then stuff I had shot around town because I was like, oh, I have a shot of the famous waterfall from the open. I'll just put the music over there. I was just, again, being bored with the open, and so I didn't try to recreate it because it was that was the first time we were like, let's just do it shot for shot recreation of the open.
Well, it must have been one of the first times where we would have had access to like the material. You know what I mean? Like I must
YouTube.
Like,
yeah.
Did we have? Yeah. Would there be? Yeah.
That's how you. That's the only way you would have gotten it would have been YouTube.
Right. So I would have gone through it and figured out the shots, and I can't. I'm amazed at the sort of motivation, I guess, because I can't even imagine that right now. It was before I had kids, though.
Sure.
So
then it was fun. It was a new creative challenge.
Yeah, and that's really was it. I missed that part. I really like. I was like, who is the person who would have done that? But it was just before kids. Brian Carpenter said, "Is there anyone we would want to as a guest co-host based on their knowledge of the comics medium?" And that's a tough question for me because all of the people who I know that have a lot of comics knowledge are pros, and I don't want comics professionals on the show.
Yeah,
make them because it's weird. I'm trying to think. It's not like we don't really.
I'm less concerned with their knowledge of the medium, more concerned with how entertaining they are on the show.
Well, I need both. I mean, you can't have somebody who doesn't know about comics. We've discovered.
Depends how funny they are.
Yeah. No, I still don't like that. I want them to be able to talk about it intelligently. Like it's one of the things like when we have Ryan on.
Oh, hold on. Any thoughts about adding a patron tier to guest co-host? It's been there since the beginning. There is a patron tier for being a co-host. It's been there since the very beginning of the show. Same thing with Goodfellas Minute.
Somebody did that. But I'm going to say something nice about Ryan is that like we've known Ryan for a long time. He was a kid when we met him. And because it doesn't feel like time changes for anybody else, like he'll say things now that I'm like, wow, that's really intelligent what you just said. Like it's very thoughtful in a way that like I respect when I hear people talking about comics. And then I think, well, A, he's very smart. B, he's been around a long. He's been listening to us for a long time and other people, and he spent a long time around Willingham and Sturgis and Robertson and all those people. So I want to have that kind of insight in somebody who comes up, but I don't know anybody. I don't meet anybody else anymore. It's not like, I'm not listening to other comics podcasts. I love when Tom Caters would come on. He was great.
So which Golden Age creator, living or dead, would you want to do a talk split with?
Jack Kirby.
Easy.
Actually, that would be an awful interview.
Well, let's say not Kirby.
Okay. Eisner.
Eisner would be terrific.
I mean, there's a billion of them that it would like.
Basically, pick anyone.
Yeah.
Finger.
Gardner Fox. Like Julie Schwartz.
Yeah.
Or what's his name? Carmine Infantino.
So the only golden he's still rich. The only Golden Age guys we got were, we got Jerry Robinson in that brief video interview.
Yeah.
And then
we almost got Joe Simon at one point, but I don't think it happened. I want to say
Joe Kubert's not considered Golden Age.
Yeah.
That would be the only one we long form. Robinson's probably only 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ramona Fraden, somebody like that would be really interesting.
Yeah. All right, we got one more minute.
Bill Finger. Yeah, well.
All right, well, thank you everyone for putting up with the delayed start while our computers simultaneously crashed for some strange reason.
You did it.
I'll take the blame. That's fine. I was going to draw a little stick figure of you and hold it up if your camera wasn't going to work.
Blah, blah, blah,
blah. So that's the February Hangout. I have to go eat dinner.
I have to get the fuck out of here.
But Josh will be back with a Talksplode this coming week, not this week, the week after.
Yeah, this week.
Which you guys?
No, I'm doing it this week, but it'll come out next week. And I'm sorry, but I actually can't tell you who it is. I normally would, but there's an announcement coming up, and I don't want to ruin anything.
And the Black Panther show will be this coming weekend. So you guys have a bunch of shows coming to you for the. I'm looking at my calendar for the non-regular show. So yeah, so we'll be back. We'll be back, and then we'll be back in March sometime for the next Hangout, which we always really quite enjoy. They're fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't dread these in any way.
No, they're super fun. All right.
I listen, everyone. I don't loathe doing this.
It's high praise from Josh.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you next month.
See you next week.